development circles, the three regions in northern Ghana are usually cited as among the poorest in Ghana. Bleak statistics are quoted to support this fact when it comes to access by the people to basic social needs such as potable water, sanitation, education, health, food and nutrition. Generally, whereas food crop farmers constitute about 59% of the poor in Ghana, the figure for the northern regions is much higher. An average of 8 in 10 people are classified as poor in a 1999 survey. So, like a swarm of bees attracted to nectar, the poverty situation in the north has indeed attracted hordes of different shades and colors of development specialists to the north. NGOs, faith-based organizations, and even private individuals. If you took time off on any given day to do a head count of the quantum of 4x4 wheel drives crawling all over the Tamale metropolis alone, you would gain a fair notion of the presence of many such quote-unquote missionaries of poverty. This and that NGO for guinea worm eradication, XYZ United Against HIV/AIDS, So-and-so Widows and Orphan Services, Mother and Child Care International, and the list continues. The paradox is that in spite of all these interventions, the rancor of poverty still persists. And if you persevered long enough, you would not fail to catch a glimpse of yet another such acronym emblazoned on the passenger side doors of a double cabin pickup, Farmer Project.
FARMER is an acronym that stands for Farmer Responsive Mechanisms in Extension and Research.
You wonder in your mind, is this also just another missionary of poverty? And like many of its kind that have come and gone, what hidden fists lies behind this project too?
It is not a matter of getting money and getting fuel and start riding around. It was getting a result. So based on the training, on making sure that whatever is being happening must get a result, and for the fact that everybody felt that the northern sector food security was a very important issue, everybody came on board.
The name itself is deceptively simple. But what exactly is the Farmer Project about?
The aim of the project has been to strengthen the services provided by government and non-government agencies to subsistence farmers in order to improve their food security. We interpret food security to be the access and availability of food all year round, of the choice that people want to eat in the three northern regions. This goes beyond just production, and it's looking at access to food and being able to have 3 meals a day.
And the purpose is to provide or ensure that agricultural information and technologies are accessible to farmers, including farmers on the ground, agro-processors, and marketers.
So how the government, extension agents and research agencies respond to farmers is important to ensure that they're meeting the needs of the farmers.
The Farmer Project is part of the ministry now. They've assisted us to do what we have been wanting to do, to collaborate very closely with all other people who are in agriculture, such as the research, the NGOs, and other stakeholders in the agricultural sector. And what they've done is to try to provide funds for all these other partners to do their work properly, so that we sort of put it together to help the farmers, to be able to reach out to the farmers. The farmer has his problem, research has got a solution. Extension, or the Minister of Food and Agriculture, should be able to send that solution to him. And if there is a problem, the extension should be able to feed back that problem to research. So this is the collaboration they have been able to link us up. Now, hitherto with other collaborations, they've always come and said, we want to get into production. So we try to help the farmers to produce. But that is all. There's no linkage with extension, with research, and with the farmer. So this project has come very strongly to revamp the RELC, that is the Research Extension Farmer Linkage Committees, to be able to deal with all the partners in the agricultural sector.
Farmer now wraps up in its 5th year, and the project management team, nonetheless, contracted this television production team to track up the footprints of the close to $10 million SEDA-sponsored projects to dispassionately document its impact, if any, on the livelihoods of poor rural communities dotted all over the northern savannas. From Yendi in the northern region to Boko and its environs in the upper east region, and as far off as Nandom and Tumu, among others in the upper west region. We are in the northern region of Ghana. Presently, this pickup and its occupants are on their way to Yendi, about 100 kilometers outside the northern regional capital of Tamale. The mere mention of Yendi to an outsider conjures up images of tribal strife and hunger and deprivation and bad blood amongst the people. Nothing could be further from the truth, as Yendi turns out to be the rainbow behind the cloud. The town is waking up grudgingly from the sweet slumber of these cold Harmattan nights. A dusty side street of the first-class road that runs through the Yendi township leads you to the homestead of 48-year-old Madam Aishetu Tahidu. You're on time to see her get ready to go through the daily routine of tending to her 37-strong small ruminants, which she started with support from the SEDA-sponsored farmer project. Madam Aishetu benefited from 19 seed sheep given as a loan by farmer to be paid back in 5 sheep per year for 4 years. These are then given out as further loans to other interested parties. Care is taken to educate beneficiaries on proper housing and care for the animals.
We drank and quiet, no to Zamba, ma be come American Shikuru, and the Geka be my so chang university. Those won't be Diane, the Zeltama, be my nephew Cavacha.
As the success story of Madam Aishetu spreads through Yendi like bushfire, she is able to mentor fellow women who come forward, obviously attracted by her success. The story of Aishetu is one of many across the length and breadth of northern Ghana. Other projects use guinea fowls, goats, or fishery in place of Aishetu's sheep. One other lady who is literally boiling over with enthusiasm and makes you go green with envy is Zinabu Ewuntoma, a single mother of 35 years. She is the proud beneficiary of one of the 4 small ruminant demo farms in Damango in the West Gonja districts.
First of all, I don't know about Love Health. It's the agri people who help me and teach me how to take good care of my animals. So now I've seen how to take good care of them, how to feed them, to make their place neat, and how to give them water, how to take good care of them so that anytime they won't be having any problem or sickness in their body.
As she happily narrates her success story in rearing goats, sheep and poultry, you cannot help but feel a part of her contentment. The story is the same for interventions aimed at enhancing the livelihoods of rural households. At Kumbiyili, which is a community around the suburbs of the Tamale metropolis, the main source of income has been in the traditional processing of shea butter, groundnuts, and dawadawa. Farmer has, however, come to encourage them to diversify their small income portfolio by helping to set up a grass cutter project. This is mirrored by Madame Rebecca Yakubu.
Grass cutter is capital intensive. To make the cages, to buy the animals, it's all expensive. So we had to look for funds. So we're lucky, and the farmer project, which is operating in the region here, supported us. They gave us the financial support. They gave us about 3.5 million cedis to start with. And that was what we used in making the cages. We made 4 cages out of it. and we bought the animal. We bought a family of 5, 4 females and then 1 male. And that was what we started with. Now we have 2 females have already delivered, and we have 5. The 2 delivered 5 kids, and they are so happy, and I'm so happy that it's a success.
Another major component of Pharma is in extension research. In places like Pong Tamale and the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute in Nyankpala, results abound on the ground. The success story of the Pharma project has revolved around a number of building blocks. Interventions are demand-driven, that is, bottom-up and not top-down prescribed solutions. Partnerships are forged between Pharma and existing players on the ground with similar motivations, not duplications. This strengthens stakeholder linkages and guarantees project sustainability after its lifespan. For example, churches, NGOs, and traditional channels of communication. The Damango Women Volunteer Group typifies one such linkage. It is an embodiment of how indigenous cultural norms can be used to forge group and collective ties and bonding amongst rural women.
Aniba mina da waditi agata mali atu sienti yala mini bae aniba yorna ka apo yor ka wiat ka omanda diti agata to ya ati zanati atu mini ka tu wulti te ton pobe ne tu wa salatieri ne abunga ti wa wuli le abibiri pour na nyora abie dio che ya soye bis tuma a wulba leba na binga abundiri adio po che ba te binga abundiri tinga ba mandi inga boteri po che ba wulti pour na wa ko o dore bona na di abie ni abingu son ko ma bri ka abumba yi ona tu abe abie ni na pula brene ona yi abumaniza akwa pokoni jaban wulti ka bunga abundiri yellow na yellow lemu dodoa ne popo ani bonu a yellow bundiri za.
Where male volunteer extension workers could breed suspicions as they interact with women folks in the absence of their spouses, female volunteers step in and achieve remarkable changes. When we arrive in the Upper West region, we are welcomed by very delighted women who cannot help but sing songs of praise to the Pharma project for all the support given them. Peculiar to each region are various projects to help with food security. In the Upper West region, key support areas included animal traction for women, soap making, guinea fowl rearing, beekeeping, soybean utilization, and dry season vegetable production. Exactly how Pharma has translated fine talk into concrete action in the long-drawn fight to achieve food security for the northern regions can again be judged in the operations of the Kani Vegetable Growers Association in the Jirapa Lambusi district. Kamwakuri Dere is a member of the association. He is tending to his dry season vegetable farm. Each time he sinks his bare hands and basic farm tools into this soil, so dear to his heart, the coordination between man and hoe and earth is almost flawless, as if he has been thoroughly rehearsed by some master choreographer. The weeds and the vegetables are like identical twins. You wonder how Derry and his team are able to make the difference between the blades of vegetables and weeds as they perform in front of the cameras. Firmly uprooting the weed and sparing the plants, Derry and his colleagues are, you won't believe it, all blind. But in spite of his obvious handicap, Derry, who is the team leader, is upbeat about his association and the support they get from several sources, including farmer.
They training us about 2 weeks before we know the farmers what we can farm, and then transplant the things in lines and know the grass differently. We know the grass here and the onions, cabbages, lettuce, sweet pepper, tomatoes, garden eggs. So we will know all this. If we farm all this, we know how to weed it into the place to be clean, and we water it and get something. Those who are not here farming, they are sitting in their houses, baking food, baking uniforms. Even they are just punishing themselves. Even if they be farmers, they will get something. People will help them. The house people will help them, and then people also they help them.
The Kani Vegetable Growers Association is one of the more than 700 smallholder groupings that are actively supported by IFAD under the Upper West Agricultural Development Project. Another bright spot as a result of farmers' intervention is how various women's groups have been energized and emboldened to undertake income-generating activities to help themselves and their families.
Nchemede funa nokore malade zonkum mburi nde kar antepsega ntis pat kar song funu fu bizansa kalen song kwar fine.
After the harvest, rather than sell the granite or soybean directly to traders and middlemen from the bigger towns, they add value to it before taking it to the market. The extra cash generated goes to support their menfolk in running the home, paying school fees, and countless little conveniences. Towards the east, in the Binduri district of the Upper East region, a husband of one of the beneficiaries, popularly known as This Man, explains how beneficial farmers' intervention has been to his family and the entire community.
Okay, this song is where I better go. When Puebla Denga Piakaye Zunila, Zunila and a tese won got a tonsil man, the man Palok. For the other Tadam for Quinang Pai, Tilaro, Tonsi, Malpalo, for Melquangara. Kamagila Yun Kenna. Dinginella, the song of Zuna. Anne Tepella to Palo Art in him, the Palo Artisan Bats. Bagwell Songa, Ningzada Fujiwa, Poksodative, Fonari Calamals. The song like ye, Anne, o more debla puti Calzusa. O Coco Bear, o Coso Bear, o Alsa Bear. Never a pile Bamala. No Melagla. The Ponca Bedna. Magila Tiranka, Intesse only a to the Pong Tenga Cake at Nongla, Siete, Tinam, apart digging pet. Womna. Are you down, yes? On can I limb song shell Anne? Puebla. For you beg on Ponca, Liginatis Puala. You came that and Kanyang Magilba, Uncle do Palaga Diggle. Ka Zombe. Corgo Butoya. Ba couldn't ba Cornana and Catari. The Fujiwa.
This leads us to Bolgatanga in the Upper East region to learn the story of an association of single mothers. They have chosen rice processing. These women are victims of a traditional practice where a family with only females retains one of the women to bear a male child to sustain the family lineage. Ironically, this male child is taken care of single-handedly by his mother. Hardships in this region only spell doom for such a woman. Farmers' partnership with the Single Mothers Association comes in very handy.
Farmer project, we went to them directly through Ministry of Agric to ask them to look at our condition, look at the single mother who has only a small farm to maybe cultivate at the in a year. Each year on this small land, she doesn't have enough to work on. So if they could give us support in food processing, it will help us. So they should come to our aid by seeing, helping the groups that have not benefited from this rice processing to also take part. And then we told them, those who are even producing, they don't have market skills. They don't have leadership skills. They don't have areas that will help them actually take good care of whatever they are supported with. So if they could come in to help us also, it will benefit these women. And Farmer Project did well. They gave us a chance to support 300 members, including men, to gender balance it. So we brought our men on board with us in activities like leadership skills, entrepreneurial skills, family health on HIV/AIDS, and environmental issues. Then the rice processing. They did well because about 250 women now have learned how to process the rice in 3 communities. And this has promoted the groups in such a way that now the school feeding program has actually involved them to support, to supply the schools in such communities with rice.
Speak of the Upper East region, and the images conjured are those of a dry savanna, even in the rainy season. But when such greenery is experienced even in the middle of the savanna during the dry season, it is evidence of how research and response from farmers can yield results. These onion farms are a major source of livelihood for the people of Bawku West and Bawku East districts. Again, participatory technology and research is at play here.
E bonvoye na ma buri jo ya ne ba da bar te jineta bonvoye na ma me seba be me songro te jineta seba be samro te jineta la ni te gilni te kyak be se bonvoye la bana samro jineta be bana man jineta kata da te kwele nye bonvoye le ne be yina ka kwele ko ro ba za ha te ton ko bonvoye seba bala bana songro te me se te de gilni te kyak be van yele bonvoye kan ona samro te jineta ne nga ko ro te jineta kante banka yo ko bana ko rete jineta ka bahe bana be ko rete jineta brale yelti te jineta ka de kota te ti gilik te ye so jinere kala wana we ma de bodo dap te de tina yelba kala dana ko jineta ka ba tina ka ba bange barana no so she ke ka we ma da yang sam jinere lalge.
At the topmost right corner of the Ghana map are littered several little villages. One such village is Kuksabla, where several members of the community are enjoying the fruits of farmer support. Usman Atonka and the lady beside him are involved in Farmers Guinea Fowl project, where previously Usman used to suffer high mortality rates of his kids due to exposure to cold and inappropriate feeding habits. He and other beneficiaries all over the 3 northern regions can now boast of a low mortality rate and increasing numbers of red birds. Meat and eggs for the table comes naturally. Several other communities use the droppings of these fowls and other animal dropping as compost for fertilizing large tracts of farmlands for increasing yield and food security. The fight to protect the environment and to halt the slow but steady march of the Sahara Desert and protect the fragile savanna soils still poses many challenges in the 3 regions. Luckily, Farmer has over the past 4 years found many willing collaborators and partners in this fight. The Gambaga Land Reclamation Project is spearheaded by this man.
This is a combination of planting trees on degraded land, supported by vetiver grass below the trees to capture the moisture to improve the growth of the trees. I think we all know that global warming is now a real problem, and if we plant trees on, I have to make the point again, on degraded land, we have a slight chance to also do something, even if it's only a slight, a minor part against global warming. So improving the soil with vetiver grass against erosion and planting trees